Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Jamie Priest, and I'm here to discuss an important topic that affects every single organization, and that is talent retention. We can all agree that today's business landscape is extremely competitive. Attracting and retaining top talent is crucial for any organization's success and growth. So let's dive into the webinar and discuss the best practice for effectively managing employees to improve talent retention. With me today, I have my partner in crime, Andy Barnett, who will be answering any questions you post in the chat during the webinar. He'll also no doubt have some value to add later on. To post a question in the chat, please use the button highlighted on your screen called chat window, and there you can enter a question. To begin, let's briefly discuss the significance and the importance of talent retention. In today's job market, skilled professionals have numerous opportunities available to them. High turnover rates can disrupt organizations' workflows, hinder productivity, and cost organizations a substantial amount of time and money. Therefore, retaining top talent has become a strategic priority for organizations worldwide. Effective employee management plays a vital role in talent retention. When employees feel valued, engaged, and supported, they are more likely to stay with an organization. On the other hand, poor practices can lead to dissatisfaction and higher turnover rates. It is essential for organizations to create a positive and nurturing work environment that encourages employees to grow and excel. We've done a bit of research, a few surveys. One survey has found that 2 in 5 workers could potentially leave their workplaces in the next 6 to 12 months, with the majority of them citing lack of available career prospects. The poll by Go1 done in the UK looked at data from around 2,000 workers who have changed jobs at least once in their career. It found that 40% of employees were looking to leave their jobs in the next 6 to 12 months. The most common reason was to seek better career prospects. The analysis revealed that this turnover could potentially cost the UK economy up to £17 billion. It also found that 32% of employees would quit their jobs if they did not have a good work-life balance. Gen Z workers who did not see career advancement at their current company would job hop after an average of about 1.5 years. Almost a third said that they would leave a dead-end role in just 4 months. These stats are similar for millennials, despite them staying at their jobs for longer than the Gen Z. Gen X as well, baby boomers as well, just a bit of a longer period for each of them. Now, let's explore some key strategies for leveraging employee management and improving talent retention. We're going to look at strong leadership. Effective leaders inspire and motivate their teams. They provide clear direction. They set realistic expectations and offer regular feedback. Strong leadership helps build trust and fosters a sense of belonging, which significantly contributes to talent retention. Employee development. Investing in employee development not only enhances their skills, but also demonstrates a commitment to the employee's growth. By offering training programs, mentorship opportunities, and career advancement paths, these are excellent ways to engage and retain talented individuals. Recognition and rewards. Recognizing employees' achievements and providing rewards for their contributions is a powerful motivator. It boosts morale, it reinforces positive behavior, and it creates a culture of appreciation. A well-designed recognition and reward system can significantly contribute to the talent retention of your organization. Work-life balance, I think this is a big one for everyone. Promoting a healthy work-life balance is crucial for employee well-being. Encouraging flexible work arrangements, offering wellness programs, promoting time-off policies help employees maintain a healthy work-life integration. This approach contributes to higher job satisfaction and reduces the risk of burnout and staff turnover. Okay, we've mentioned the practices. Now we're going to focus on the strategies and executing those strategies. To ensure effective implementation of the strategies, we can discuss some of the best practices for leveraging employee management for this talent retention. Regular performance reviews is number one. Conducting periodic performance reviews. This allows managers to provide constructive feedback. They can set goals and address any concerns that the employee might have. This also provides an opportunity to recognize and reward high-performing individuals. Continuous learning and skill enhancement. Encouraging employees to continuously learn and develop new skills by providing access to training programs, conferences, and workshops. This is not only beneficial to the individual, but this also helps the organization stay competitive. Mentoring and coaching. By implementing mentorship programs and coaching programs that connect experienced employees with those who are early in their careers, mentoring relationships offer guidance, they offer support, and they offer valuable insights which contribute to the employee growth and the retention of that employee. Regular feedback and communication. Establishing a feedback-rich culture where managers provide regular and timely feedback. Encouraging open dialogue and active listening between the manager and the employees. Open and transparent communication channels help develop trust and engagement. By regularly sharing information between managers and employees, it encourages the feedback and it involves the employees in the decision-making processes, which make them feel valued. Building a diverse and inclusive environment. Developing a culture of diversity and inclusion by embracing different perspectives, different backgrounds, and different experiences. Employees thrive in an inclusive environment where they feel respected and valued. So mentioning the talent retention and the strategies of how an organization can improve their talent retention, we're going to look at how DocuWare can assist with these different processes that an organization can put in place and how it can help automate day-to-day employee management, which ultimately contributes positively to the talent retention. When we look at DocuWare for employee management, we're going to look at how we can digitize the paper records and potentially organize all of the disparate information. We're going to look at the compliance and the privacy. How do we give our entire organization the peace of mind, both employer and employee, that all of their information is secure and encrypted. We want to enhance and improve and support a self-service type of solution where an employee can find their own records, they can log their own queries, and these are some of the things we're going to be looking at in the demo. Okay, I'm going to just quickly switch over. I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a second. Okay. Excuse the just having trouble sharing my screen quickly.
Just while Jamie does that, I think I'll just step in and help with some questions that I can see coming in already. So we've got a question here that just says we use DocuWare for our accounts team at the moment. Would we have to rebuy the system to roll out a different department for some of the stuff Jamie's talking about? As some of you will know, the answer, of course, is no. DocuWare is a truly flexible product. So once you've got the product itself, you're more than welcome to start implementing it in different areas of your organization. There's no additional licenses to buy. It may mean some additional users, but other than that, you are good to go. So first question that come in there, hopefully that covers that off. You don't need to rebuy the product. You can go ahead and just roll out in a different department. Looks like Jamie's ready, so I'll pass back over to Jamie.
Thank you, Andy. And you can see my screen, huh?
Yes.
Okay, so this is the DocuWare front end. I'm going to just take you through a quick tour of DocuWare for those that are unfamiliar with the solution. I'm assuming that most of the people on the webinar have seen it, but in case there are some that haven't, DocuWare is accessible from any web browser. This is a cloud-hosted solution. Within this solution, there are a couple pre-configured workflows. This, as Andy mentioned, it is completely configurable, so you can adapt it to any process that you have within your organization. When I open DocuWare, I have a document tray in front of me. This could potentially be somewhere where I intercept external documents coming into the system, and they need specific indexing before they get filed into the file cabinet. This can also be a way for me to start a particular process within DocuWare. There is a search function, and we're going to go into more details of this later on, but in my search function, I can have multiple search dialogues allowing the employer or the employees to go and find information quite easily within the system. And this again is completely configurable to your requirements. Lists are something that we're going to focus on particularly in our employee management demo. This is quite important for us as an organization managing our employees, managing certifications potentially, birthdays and anniversaries, managing performance reviews, but this also allows employees to have an overview of what tasks are outstanding and what they need to complete. All right, so the whole idea here is to make this an easily accessible self-service engine for an employee to reduce the amount of admin that they potentially might have in their current day-to-day jobs. Okay, and then we're going to look at tasks. Okay, tasks are workflow tasks that get assigned to me when there's something that I need to action in my day-to-day job. And then we're going to have a look at the forms, which speak a lot to the process of recruiting employees, applying for jobs, maintaining sick leave, maintaining time off requests, potentially even training registration forms, and those are certain things we're going to take a look at later on. Okay, so you'll see that in the document viewer on the right-hand side, you can open up any document. You can download the document, share the document, and this is can all be locked down by the security roles and rights, so it's not necessarily available to everyone. We're going to have a look at the process which I currently have in place, and that is an application from an employee for a position that was posted within my organization. Okay, why this is important is because we want to improve that engagement with the employee right from application stage. So as managers, as HR representatives in an organization, I can post open positions within DocuWare, and I can do that using my forms. So I can put out a recruitment request. This would then potentially open a position for the HR department to start hiring employees. Here was a position that I'd opened, and as the HR representative, I now have a task because I've received an application, which is also a web form, from a person called Peter Sanders. I can go through that application, and attached to that application is this person's CV. All right, and then I can make certain decisions with my tasks on the left-hand side here. So I can either forward this to the supervisor for approval. I can directly schedule the interview using DocuWare, so I can manage the entire interview process with the dates, with the links to Teams potentially. I can send out the email to the applicant to inform him of the interview request, and he can respond or she can respond, and we can start negotiating a suitable interview time. What I can also do is I can send this application into my talent pool. So if this is an application that I see might not necessarily fit the position, but I want to keep it for future use, I can send this into my talent pool, and I can start building a talent pool to reach out to make the recruitment and employment process easier later on down the line. Those were my tasks. All right. You'll see that this email communication works and integrates directly with Outlook. So you'll see here that Peter Sanders received a mail saying, we've received your application and thank you. There's other things that you can do from your Outlook. You can connect it directly to your document trays or to your file cabinets where you can import information. So let's hypothetically say we've been through the interview process, we've been through the hiring process, and now Peter Sanders has joined us, but he never actually sent us a driver's license copy. He can send it to us via email, or he can import it directly to DocuWare using the Connect to Outlook. And you can create multiple different store dialogues for the different processes that you might have configured in your organization. Okay. All right, going back to my lists, as an HR representative, why this is also important is that I have one application in progress, and this gives me an easier way to manage my day-to-day job and manage the applications coming into my organization. I can also see time off requests, people that have been requesting time off from a certain date using the web forms. This can be managed, and I can send this for approval or manage it more effectively this way. What's also really important, if you give me a second to share my screen, is having access to all of this via the mobile app. All right, so as an employee, as an employer, or an HR representative, all of my tasks that I'm receiving on DocuWare itself are viewable via the mobile app. I also have full access to the lists that I'd spoken about, and I can also search for information using the mobile app, also store information from the mobile app into my file cabinet. One particular example that I wanted to show you is that using what we call a paper scan mobile app, which is the other one we have, I can potentially take pictures of receipts, logging expense claims. I can upload that to my document tray, and then I can store that from my document tray, sending those expenses for approval, ultimately improving the administration of expense claims and getting those expenses paid out and paid back to the employee as quickly and effectively as possible. All right, back to mine. And as you can see, everything that I've seen from my mobile app is also viewable from the web browser. Have we got any more questions that need answering in the chat? I just want to take a pause there, Andy.
We do have a couple of questions. So the next one I can see is, can we monitor holidays? Can we see who's off and how many days that I might have left to take? Yes,
certainly. So there's multiple different ways to do this. In this particular instance, we've got something called a holiday report, which is a very basic form that an employee could submit, which could go into a workflow and respond back with either the remaining amount of vacation days they have. And again, this is completely configurable. Using this to monitor who is off. So you can see by my lists here, I can monitor either as a manager or an HR representative who's absent on a particular day. I don't have any data currently for this of who's absent, but as you can see here, if there was data in there, I'd be able to see this via the lists. I hope that covers off those two parts of the question.
I think so, sir.
All right, brilliant. The next thing that I want to cover is the topic of integration. I think that a lot of us know that there are HR and payroll systems out there that manage the actual payroll, that manage employees potentially, and you're kind of thinking, how does DocuWare work with that, or is this a replacement for that? So you must just remember that DocuWare is essentially a workflow automation and document management solution, and will completely support any HR and payroll solution with the different pieces of functionality that I've shown you here, enriching that experience. So what we want to reiterate on streamlining and improving the engagement between the employers and the employees. Okay. Any more questions, Andy? I think that's very close to the end of the overview of my demo.
So there is another question. It is around workflows. So this person, sorry, I don't recognize your name, but this person says they understand that this comes as a pre-configured solution and can be rolled out. However, do they have the opportunity to alter or adjust the workflows themselves, or is this something that either A, can't be done, or B, would have to come back to DocuWare or a consultant to carry out for them?
Great. So the DocuWare, the workflows can be managed within DocuWare. It has its own workflow designer, which I have open on my screen here, and you can see the sheer number of workflows that I have available and configured just for my pre-configured solution. And we often look at the pre-configured solution as the template that an organization can use and improve on or tweak or change. This does reduce the implementation lifecycle quite significantly. So to answer your question, yes, you can change and customize and configure the workflows to your requirement. However, the workflow designer can become quite technical. So with the support of your ADP or the DocuWare professional services team, we'd be able to assist you and potentially put you on a program if you have potential resources to upskill more technically on how to create workflows. Okay. Right. Ladies and gentlemen, that does bring me to the end of my functional demo of DocuWare. I'm going to switch back to the presentation quickly and all right. So the challenges that we face is employee engagement and retention can be unpredictable. There are difficult processes to obtain and view pertinent employee HR data. There's no visible career prospects or growth plans that employees can connect to. And to solve these problems on a very high level with DocuWare, we have centralized, organized, and safe information that's easily communicated within the organization. It is ready to use information that is easily accessed by both employer and employee. Appraisals, skills mapping, and growth plans can be centralized and workflowed and reported on using DocuWare. All right, there is a download to a report, and Nick is going to post the link in the chat for anyone that wants to access it. I think if that's right, Nick. There are 5 key HR business trends for 2023. Really interesting. Whether you're a partner reselling DocuWare or an end user customer, please go and download this report and have an overview. I think it's going to add some value. And that brings us to the end where we're going to have if there are any more questions, we're going to have a Q&A session now.
So there's currently no questions at the moment other than the ones we've already answered. However, of course, we will be sticking around for a little while to answer those questions. The link that Jamie mentioned is now in the chat, so thank you for that, Nick. So please feel free to go ahead and download that. As Jamie said, there is a lot of useful information in there and some quite interesting points, a couple that I'd have to say I learned from as well. So some good ones in there. Jamie, thank you very much for the webinar. Very first one that Jamie's done since he joined us. So I'm sure everyone will agree, done a good job. So thank you very much for that. And guys, we will be around for the next 10 minutes or so to answer any questions that may come into the chat, should you have any there. Okay, Jamie, I've got one around the paper scan app, I think. So you showed an app where you could take a picture. Does this integrate directly with DocuWare, or do you have to do something different?
The paper scan app works hand in hand with the DocuWare app. So taking a picture of a document using the paper scan app can be shared using your phone share capability to the DocuWare app, where it would land up in a tray or in the file cabinet.
Okay, so some direct integration. Okay, we've got another one around HR systems. So you mentioned how DocuWare would work alongside HR systems. This person's saying they have customers that are quite small customers. They don't have a dedicated HR system. Could they use DocuWare as a replacement to do a lot of the features without investing in a full HR system?
Absolutely. I think this is part of our webinar series, is to stress the flexibility of DocuWare across different areas of the business. So yes, I think from what you've seen using of the demo, DocuWare can be used to a large extent to manage HR processes very effectively. And this can be from recruitment to application to onboarding, that whole hiring process, to the management of the employee throughout their life cycle, maintaining those employee records, as well as the end of the employee life cycle, where we can manage the offboarding process effectively as well, all whilst maintaining compliance and security.
I have another one around case studies. Do we have any case studies of any HR customers in the UK that we could share?
We can certainly share some case studies with you. You're welcome to reach out to us directly via email after this, and we can share them with you. There are a few published ones on the DocuWare website where you can go and view the case studies there, but if there are any unpublished ones, we'll be able to share them with you via email after the webinar.
Wonderful. Okay, a final. I think this one's from someone internally, actually. They sent it me on Teams. Can we mention a little bit around DocuWare's compliance with GDPR? Are we completely compliant? Is this something that customers out there can use to help with their compliance with GDPR?
Yes, absolutely. DocuWare, if you must always remember that DocuWare is not stamped as compliant, but DocuWare facilitates the compliance of GDPR using the security and the encryption of the documentation within the solution. So there is a lot of information around this, and there's a lot of white papers around the compliance of GDPR, which we'd also be happy to share with you directly. That is also available on the website.
Thank you very much, sir. I do have another question. This one is another internal one from one of our own marketing guys, actually. So nice to get a question from one of these guys. What they're asking is there a summary report of leave that can show staff for, let's say, a month-to-month period?
Sorry, just repeat that. Is there a summary report of leave? Summary
report for leave taken for staff, say for a month-to-month period.
So again, DocuWare doesn't have essentially reporting capability, but it can show you using the list functionality on a moving periodic basis who is taking leave within the next, whatever you configured, if it's a month, a week, or 2 months, you can see that, and we can configure that using the list.
Wonderful. I think that's the end of our questions. I can't see any more coming through. So, oh, sorry, no, I have got another one. Is there a limit to the retention time for documentation?
DocuWare also has the functionality to set retention periods for specific document types. Again, this is completely configurable. So within the system, you can build retention policies. We can also set up periodic archiving of documentation once a document has reached its retention period.
Okay, I think that's all of our questions. I'm not seeing any more coming through. So we are 2:30. Guys, we will stick around for an extra couple of minutes just to answer any questions that do come through now. However, failing that, I hope you will have a wonderful day. And of course, I'll pass back over to Jamie for him to close off.
Great, thanks, Andy. Thank you everyone for joining. Again, we are available. You can contact us directly via email if you have any questions after the webinar as well. Thank you for your time, and I hope that I could give you 15 minutes back of your day today. So please enjoy the rest of your day and the weekend ahead.